It's our inner superpower. What archetype is going to guide me today? Even ourselves being a human, we're in this fun earth playground. And so for me, it's the costumes. It's the embracing the multi-dimensional beings of ourself, turning my perceived weaknesses into my great strengths and turning my wounds into wisdom. And what I witness, life isn't here to punish us. It's here to simply mirror for us. We get to experience the perception of limitation so we can remember our infinite self. It's not new. It's what's already inside ourselves. We're tapping into it. And so the more we can dissolve the not self, the more we awake in, because that's what it is. The door of the temple opens in. Give yourself an opportunity to be in stillness, because in the stillness is where we remember our infinite self. And then what comes through, trust that. What archetype chooses to lead today? What archetype chooses is most alive in me now?
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. Before we dive into today's podcast, I do have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or have supported you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you for walking this path with us. Let us begin with today's conversation. Welcome to the Archetypes of the Soul podcast. My name's Sophia from Sacred You, but with me today in this episode, I'm truly excited to be chatting with the beautiful Janaki Mayhill, who's joining us to chat about archetypes, Janaki. So very much, because you are the embodiment of archetypes, especially, I call it, for me, you are the embodiment of the sacred feminine archetype, but also the alchemist and the awakener and the mystic and all the archetypes combined. So first of all, Janaki, I'd love to know a little bit about your beautiful self. Tell us a little bit about who you are, and what does archetypes, what does the word archetype mean for you?
Thank you. So my company is called Bhakti Light. I love serving as a muse, mirror, messenger, and mentor. I relate and connect with being a sound weaver, a soul seer, and a quantum igniter, here to ignite our God spark in one's heart. And recently discovered a new, archetype, costume, identity as a field architect. Because the field architect, where I support the upgrading of our human programming by all those programs to reprogram. And so allowing ourselves to really connect into our remembrance, because it's not about knowing. We get so stuck in our head with the knowing. It's about coming back into our heart of remembering. And so that's why I'm so passionate of our remembrance of awaken our God spark in one's heart. That's where we remember our infinite source of who we are.
Certainly do, and thank you for sharing that, because it's so very powerful and something that is accessible to every single person on this planet. If we choose to go down to that path and the journey, because it is a journey of remembering and connecting.
It is.
So thank you for bringing that to our podcast today.
You're so welcome. My dad told me at a very young age, it's not what you're here to do in your lifetime, it's what you're here to undo, which began at a very young age, being the alchemist, and didn't even know it.
So tell us about the alchemist. I said, even before that, what does, for you, Janaki, what does archetype mean?
For me, I see it as even ourselves being a human, we're in this fun earth playground. And so for me, it's the costumes, it's the embracing the multidimensional beings of ourself, embracing our full whole soul. Because people will say, oh, I have a relationship with, say, Mary Magdalene's a big one. We all have that aspect. It's we awaken that within ourselves of in our memory. Because I look at ourselves as the disco ball, as the whole, and the different fractal mirrors reflecting, and each mirror is going to show us something different. And so what I'm hearing is it's our inner superpower. Remember, it's okay, what archetype is going to guide me today?
Yes. Yeah, and I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I love it how it's a costume.
Mm.
And it's all part of ourselves. And there are many different parts that make up the whole. Disco ball. Love that analogy too. And for you, you mentioned the alchemist, and we're going to go into all many other archetypes. But why is the alchemist so powerful for you?
Because it's been my path of self-mastery. As I was reflecting about, my dad says, it's not what you do, it's what you're here to undo. So what I have walked the path of is turning my perceived weaknesses into my great strengths and turning my wounds into wisdom. And what I witness, going back to the ball, the disco ball, the mirror, is life isn't here to punish us. It's here to simply mirror for us the gifts that we've yet to see, that the unseen. And this is one of the reasons why I stand for radical self-love, because when we truly love ourselves, we're less likely to be triggered in our world, because there's that someone will mirror for us something that's in the unseen world that we've yet to love. And that is the journey of the alchemist. And also their journey is the rhythm of life. It's the part of being human. And what I recently discovered in 2025, with being in such deep valleys and even going into a valley of despair of not wanting to be here. And what I heard when I was there is you're here to visit here. You're not going to stay here. I heard my inner whisper God within me say, you're here to experience this so you can relate and integrate. And I go, okay. And so we have those moments. And what I received also, the message is, when we're in the valleys, this is where we receive the gold.
Yes.
But we're stuck in the muck.
Yes.
Because
very true.
this is why I see the Awakener and the Alchemist are as one. And maybe that's why how you were saying the Alchemist is related with the Phoenix, or not the Alchemist, the Awakener, because every time I see my life has been an expansion of awakening. People are like, when was your awakening experience? I'm like, which one? And so it's every time we expand into new awareness, into a new state of being, what we expand in us, and not just a singular way. It's more of an oval. So it's going to, everything from underneath the surface, all that muck that we haven't yet to see is going to come up to the surface as that opportunity. That's why I say oppositions are the opportunity. So when you are committed, as I am, of being that alchemist, where you walk, live, breathe, talk, it is your journey. And there are glorious moments, and there are moments where you're like, So in the valleys, that's where we receive the gold, in that mud. It's in the unseen, because the conscious mind's only 5%. That's the knowing part. It's the subconscious, and the super consciousness is where the unknown is. And that's where all the gold is hidden. And so that's what I've received, is we don't see the gold we received when we're in the valley. Now, when we're in the mountaintops, we go, it was all worth it. I see everything. And so what I witnessed within my own journey is, anytime I would get in that muck, I want to move through it. And the more I wanted to move through it, the more I stayed in it. And so it was my unconscious resistance against resistance, keeping that pattern in place and not knowing it. So that's why I say, God, give me the strength to have one drop of love for what I'm experiencing. And that's all it takes, is that little mustard seed that moves the mountain. That's my journey with the Alchemist, turning the perceived shit into gold. Because I'll tell you my experience, when perceived shit hits the fan, what I'm actually discovered what it is, it's the perception of chaos, divine order. The field is restructuring divine order. And what I'm hearing as I say this, it's that let go of control.
Yes, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. And we wouldn't be who we are if we didn't go through the shit, if we didn't go through the mud. It's there to help us grow, and we can tap in to these parts of ourselves, the costumes, the personalities, the identities, whatever you want to call it, the archetypes, because for me, it's all the same. But tap into those parts of ourselves to help us go through that mud, to help us transform whatever that we need to transform into that goal, to be that alchemist, because that's what alchemists can do, is to transform the mud into gold, into those powerful stories, those powerful journeys that can help not just us, but others as well. So thank you for sharing that. And I'd love to know, Janaki, more, also continue your journey to know more about your archetypes, because how can we be many archetypes all at the same time?
That's the fun question, because our mind makes up that we have these lived in these boxes. And what I heard is we get to experience the perception of limitation so we can remember our infinite self. And one time when I was in gratitude and reverence with air, and I was thanking air for the power of deeply felt and yet unseen, and then all of a sudden I heard, oh, wait, the perception of individuality, of duality, the perception of separation is here for our full integration of our truest liberation. And so when we come in as a soul, trees root from the ground and come up. We're here to hear and then and root. And it's through our being. That's what I've been witnessing within my field, is that's how we anchor in the heaven frequencies. We come home into our bodies, into ourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And what about for someone who's just new to this, is new to archetypes and the whole journey, without even realizing what archetypes are, that they're in our lives all the time? What's a gentle first step that they can take to begin their journey of discovery?
What I'm hearing is as simple as curiosity.
Yes.
Asking questions. When we shame ourselves, we're closing the door of our consciousness. And when we simply ask questions and be curious like a child, then it opens, it expands the doors of our consciousness and our awareness. And so, as simple as asking questions, because the moment we ask, we receive.
Yes.
Now, also, careful what you are asking for, because you will receive everything you ask for. So that's the beautiful part of surrendering into God's plan, because that's our true self, our infinite self, because we're here to experience the limited perceived self. So we remember the infinite self. Like the alchemist, we're here to experience the perception of darkness. So we remember our light we are, because if we're always surrounded by light, we wouldn't even know the difference. So we agreed, let's play this earth playground here. That's how I see it. It's a game.
It is a game, and when we can have that whole awareness that it is a game and that we're here to play, to learn, to grow, but also to enjoy.
Yes.
To let go of that control that we've talked about and mentioned and just enjoy life, because that, for me, I don't know about you, but for me, is the purpose of life, is to enjoy it.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
really struggle, peoples. It's really
Yes.
struggle. It's meant to be enjoyed.
It- yes. And laughter and having fun is the fastest way we move through consciousness.
Yes.
We can laugh at that illusion when it comes up. And it's, oh, wait, yeah, I see. That was the process I went through the other day. I broke down, cried, and then all of a sudden I started laughing. I'm like, oh, wait, this is so silly. I see what's happening.
And it's good
So,
when you can get to that stage where you can really, truly laugh at yourself. Really.
because yeah, there is a difference. There is a difference because I used to do that. People would laugh because they're uncomfortable. They don't want to be seen. And so it hides as laughter. And
Yes.
so sometimes let's say something and it's disguised as a joke or laughter, there's some deep pain underneath it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
when we can really just let go and just truly laugh at ourselves, with ourselves,
Yes.
we're just releasing, we're not hiding, we're just really accepting. And I'd love
It's
to know, for that whole experience, Janaki, what archetype do you think you were embodying then? What archetype do you embody when you just let go and just laugh at yourself?
what I'm hearing, and it may not even be considered an archetype, although I feel it is your inner child,
Of course.
because it's through the child's heart is the way of heaven. And a child doesn't have this program yet. And so they're having fun. And so connecting with your inner child, connecting with, yeah, that's what I heard when you asked that question.
And it's true, because your inner child, as you said, a child just has fun. The children don't have all the perceptions and
Mhm.
blockages that adults do.
Mhm.
They just see everything as fun and having joy.
It's fun.
And yes, and an inner child could definitely be an archetype because it's part of us, like
Mhm.
all the other ones. And let's go into the other archetypes, and there are hundreds of archetypes.
Yeah, there are.
You've mentioned the Alchemist and you've mentioned the Awakener. How has
Mhm.
the Awakener helped you on your life?
I remember being 6 years old, looking at the stars and saying, I'm going to sleep right now. And when the world's ready, I'll wake up. And then about 7 years ago, I had this aha moment. Oh, been doing this backwards. The world is me. I wake up, the world wakes up with me. What? And so remembering that everything, we see our world as we see ourselves. So if we're constantly trying to fix everyone, or there's that also wounded healer archetype too, that is, I'm going to take care of everyone else
Yes,
while abandoning myself
yes.
because I don't want to look at what I'm holding. I want to hold everyone else. And so the awakener, what I see is those aha moments where what I've witnessed within my life is those aha moments. I literally see these puzzle pieces of all these things that have happened and all the connections and witnessing all of a sudden all the dots connect. And I'm like, and so it's a new awareness. It's not new, it's what's already inside ourselves. We're tapping into it. And so the more we can dissolve the not self, the more we awake in, and I spell awaken different, as you may have seen, AWAKEIN, because that's what it is. The door of the temple opens in. And when we truly, and I am a living example, and I'm witnessing in this field that's being facilitated, the field's being facilitated through me in this immersion, is what we shift within becomes the ripple effect in the field. The field's acting through us. Life is happening through us. So it's shifting that lens. That's what I've witnessed within the Awakener. because there's those stages. You go from that victim, and when you can fully integrate the victim, you become the visionary. So life's no longer happening to you, it's for you. And then there's a whole nother thing that I'm experiencing. Life happens as you. We're like, wow. And then all of a sudden, now I'm at this life happens through me. And I'm like, what? And the fun part about this of being a human, we've agreed to it somehow. Sometimes we forget. So we can have the journey of remembering again. So I see the awakening as the remembering, because it's already within us, within ourselves, within our DNAs. We may have forgotten. This is why I'm witnessing the importance of us gathering and sharing through authenticity and vulnerability, because that's the bridge. And it allows ourselves to awaken those new cellular memories, because it's the field acting through in consciousness. And so when we witness someone else, we're like, oh, I'm not alone in this journey. And so that's the beautiful thing. So that's what I see as the awakener, is new levels of awareness within consciousness.
I love that. I love that so much. I could feel that in my heart, because it's really true. It's really when we awaken to all the possibilities around us.
Yes.
And as you said, life is happening for us and also through us. And when we step into that power, that the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
Very
And I imagine, oh, what were you saying?
I said it's very powerful, and it gives me goosebumps.
Yes, yes. And I imagine that's why you're envisioning the phoenix, because I would see the phoenix as the alchemist. Now I see the phoenix, I see the awakener and the alchemist as the same thing. Like they honestly, all of them are interwoven together, because that's how we are. We're all interwoven by the golden thread of consciousness that is through our hearts, the language that connects us all. And it's so beautiful, because what I'm now witnessing, instead of the constant burning and rising, yes, there's moments we require those. We can actually be the awakener and be the phoenix standing in the fire. That's sovereignty, where we're no longer afraid of the fire. We're no longer afraid of that letting go, because fire represents that powerful transmutation and purification. And so if we're holding on, then we may be running from the fire. We're going to get burned.
Yes.
And if we're willing to stand in our power, and it's power within, that's what I'm discovering. It's not a power over. We've had a power over, power under playing for years. Now what's happening in our field of consciousness, the unified field, is we're awakened in the power within.
And I love that too, awakening. Again, it's very powerful. I love everything, all your word plays. Inspirational, Janaki. Thank you. And for anyone else out there who is listening or watching our podcast, do click on the links below and connect with everything that Janaki offers, because she's one amazing, powerful woman. And we are honored to know you, Janaki, and honored to have you with Sacred You as not only the host of the Sounds of the Soul Tribe, but also Archetype Circles as well, which I want to get into just before we finish up. But before that, tell us more about archetypes, like for you. And I'd love to know, we mentioned totem animals. I'd also love to know, for whatever archetypes, because there are so many, we don't have enough time to go over all the archetypes, not just our 6 main ones for Sacred You, which people can find out about when you do the quiz on the link below. But there's hundreds of archetypes. But how can someone really connect with the archetypes, and how do you bring the totem animals in? This is going to be a never-ending question, I think. Rituals, where do they come in? Do you use rituals to connect with your archetypes? Or do you just call them? Do you just feel them?
It's yeah, feeling into the field, feeling into the field. It's not It's literally allowing yourself to hear the whispers beyond the noise, because the outer world can seem really noisy. And when we can tune in and tap in, that is what I say is the melody, the song of the universe. The you and I are the verse of the song where we all belong. And again, connecting back into our heart. So there's like, one time I was in a sacred sound journey and having this experience, and all of a sudden I heard, "Ooh, you're now being the seductress muse." And I'm like, "Oh." And sometimes for me, it comes through the codes that are in our spelling in words. So I saw music, and then I'm going, "Oh, wait, muse. Oh my God, I'm God's muse playing music." And so what I say is the seductress muse, which is an archetype I really deeply partner with, is simply making love with the presence of now and allowing your whatever, letting God's light to facilitate through you. And it's getting out of your own way so you can allow yourself to be the vessel. And so, as far as connecting with the archetypes and ritual, I love ritual because, again, it comes to the play aspect. Is what are we bringing meaning to? And like for me, one of my rituals is I speak into water, because water has told me so many things. Water has said, I am your structure. Water told me the highest form of currency is authenticity. So when we can tune into those little whispers, and everyone has this, it's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym. We're all intuitive. We're all God's channel. We're all God's muse. It's whether you're choosing to tune into that channel. And so the more you listen to those little tiny whispers and stop doubting yourself, and this is why I feel trust and surrender is an important part to partner with. And so we can hear what our guidance is and trust it. And there's a lot of times, at least in my journey, a lot of shit makes no sense at all. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, trust. And then you allow the field to orchestrate through you versus the control.
Yeah, and I love that. Thank you so much for sharing it, because there's so much in our times it don't make sense. But when we tune in to that inner part of us, then magic can occur. And you go,
Yes.
that's why that happened. We have those aha moments. Aha moments.
Yes.
Everything is meant to be, and I love it. Making love with the presence of now. Very true. Thank you ever so much. Okay, so tell us quickly about your archetype circles that you run within Sacred You. What's the benefit? What do people experience?
Again, I show up. For me, when I facilitate, is allow the field to orchestrate through me. So I tune into not what I think is supposed to be. I listen to the frequency of our heart, because it's the language of our heart that connects us all. It doesn't matter where you are with your beliefs, religion, whatever. When you speak the language of your heart, we all are connected through that one unified field. And so in the archetype circles, I love to bring people into a quantum sound journey. Sometimes it's different every time. It's different every time. Sometimes we have a conversation and it's, oh, wait, we're going this direction. Okay, wasn't expecting it, and surrender into it. And I do love, because with me being God's muse and channeling music, that is one of my zone of geniuses that I love so much and love giving. So there are a lot of times where we'll do a mini quantum sound journey that allows, what I find is music can bypass the thinking mind. And so many of us are stuck in our head with the stinking thinking. And when we can bring our head, our heart, our body into full coherence, this is the presence of now. This is where all the magic is. And that's what I like to do, is allow them to, not what I say, what the archetype is. What is your inner archetype? Bringing into the presence of now so you can listen beyond the noise. And some people connect in so many different ways, and it's really beautiful to witness that. Sometimes I never know what I'm going to say. That's the fun part, because I get surprised as well.
It is the fun part. It's the thing, because when you never know what you're going to say, then, those true inspirational messages, the messages that whoever is there with you is meant to hear, whatever people are meant to hear. And that's the magical part of it. That's the fun part of it, because, someone else could be thinking that it's garbage, but yet another person, it touches their heart.
That's why you have to get out of your own way.
Yeah, exactly.
And allow yourself to be a vessel of source channeling through.
Love this. Thank you ever so much. Before we wrap up, anything else that you would like to say about sacred archetypes, or the archetypes of the soul, whatever archetypes that may be, and how can we, okay, so this is another question. How can we use our archetypes to get the best out of life?
It's simple. Communicate and ask questions. Ask from this place of, this isn't necessarily, maybe it is an archetype, but water, again, because I connect so deeply with water and the structure of water. So recently I've been thanking water for being the structure, and say, water, thank you for being my sacred structure. Will you structure me in the way that aligns with my sovereignty as I completely surrender into you, water? And then the magic happens. Sometimes it may not seem like magic. Sometimes it's that alchemist journey that you get to move through the perceived shit. And so ask questions. Again, the curiosity, ask questions, and give yourself an opportunity to be in stillness. Because in the stillness is where we remember our infinite self. Even if it's 5 minutes for a day or 3 minutes, whatever it is, let yourself be in stillness. And then what comes through, trust that. What I would do is say, okay, what archetype? That's what I've done before, because I've been really partnering with a lot of queen, priestess, oracle energy. And Empress was a new one. I'm like, okay, this is fascinating. And so I ask, what archetype chooses to lead today? What archetype is most alive in me now? And what is the message that you're here to bring? And what is in the most aligned, ultimate perspective of my full well-being in service of me and humanity? Because we always put our me self first, because we can't serve from the empty cup. What is my most either aligned step, or what is align me with my path of least resistance? There's so many different ways, but what I've discovered is clarity is a spell that most people do not cast, because they get so vague. Yes. They don't even know it, because I was one of them. Yes. And so be clear and let yourself receive.
Thank you. Love it ever so much. Be clear and let yourself receive. You make it sound easy, but it actually is.
That's what I was literally hearing the same thing as you were saying that. I was like, it's actually so simple. It's our little minds that want to control and overcomplicate things. Yes. Yeah, what I'm discovering is simplicity is in sovereignty.
Yes. And it's true. When we become sovereign of our mind, when we allow ourselves to become sovereign of our mind and our life, but especially our mind, then we have clarity and we can receive messages, all that guidance. We can connect with our archetypes and receive the messages that they have for us. So
yes,
thank you. Any last words of wisdoms about the archetypes of the soul before we say farewell for today? And I do want to come back and have more conversations with you.
Yes, what I'm hearing, all I'm really hearing is trust and surrender. And be gentle with yourself. And also grace and acceptance lights up the pathway for love. And when we can have full acceptance, it dissolves the wall of resistance. for whatever reason, that's what's choosing to become through me today. When you said what's coming through, it's like the more you try to seek, you're going to constantly be chasing.
Yes.
So all you require to do is what I'm hearing is come back into your heart. Ask your heart. You can even say, heart, what is it that you choose to show me? What way can I serve you best today?
Yes.
And you don't look for the answers, they will appear.
Yes.
And when you stop seeking, you remember that you already are. And so allow things to come to you, because that's part of the journey. Because when we are in the getting, we forget.
And it's so very true. And thank you. And we can connect with our archetypes, the energy of the archetypes, whatever that may be. Whether it's the Awakener or the Alchemist or any of the other ones we've talked, the mystic and even that sacred feminine.
Mm.
You know, when we connect with those, the power, the energy of the archetypes, then we can trust and surrender.
What
Works together.
I'm hearing something when you said sacred feminine. She's calling us to stand and root in our power. And I'm witnessing this happening in my lived experiences. So I'm speaking from my lived experiences because I received the message and now I'm witnessing it mirror in my field. So when you stand and root in your power, the masculine rises. And so that's what the sacred feminine, she's the divine mother who is fierce yet gentle. She's the one who can have all wars stop. Because I'm also hearing about the Shakti and Shiva. Shakti is mother creation. Shiva is God consciousness, which is represented in the masculine. So when Shiva did not know Shiva did not know Shiva was Shiva until Shakti, the mother of creation. And that's the divine feminine. And it's the power within. It's not, I'm going to try to fix you, change you. It's you choosing you. You choose you, you stand in your power. Simple as that.
Love that. Thank you ever so much for coming on to the Archetypes of the Soul podcast. Definitely want to talk more. So we have to have a part 2 and a part 3. And for everyone out there who is watching or listening, like I said, click on these links below, reach out to Janaki. Come and join us in Janaki's Archetype circles. They are amazing and powerful. Come and do the quiz and find out what archetype is most prominent in you, but as Janaki says, we are all archetypes. Just different ones show up at different times to help us, to guide us. They're there for our purpose. So thank you, Janaki. It has been a joy.
Yes, such an honor.
Wow. What an absolutely delightful and inspiring conversation with Janaki Mayhill, who shared so beautifully that the journey of the archetypes is not about becoming someone new. It is remembering who you have always been. The Alchemist teaches us that gold is found in the valleys, in that mud. The Awakener reminds us that life isn't happening to us, it's happening through us. And the inner child shows us that the joy, curiosity, and play are sacred pathways back to sovereignty. And if you would like to explore Janaki's work more deeply, be sure to connect with her through her archetype circles, her quantum sound journeys, and the beautiful offerings she shares with Sacred You. You will find all the links below. Step into one of her circles and experience the field for yourself. And for more empowering conversations, tools, and strategies, do follow Sacred You on all our social media or visit our website at www.sacredyou, that's the letter U, .love. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or give us a like so that you never miss another episode. And while you're there, complete our archetype quiz. Also at sacredyou.love/quiz. In Janiki's own words, this journey isn't about perfection. It's about presence and making love with the presence of now. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast. May the archetype that walks within you now whisper truth when you forget, bring courage when you hesitate, and light your way when the path feels uncertain. Until next time, stay aligned in who you are, stay open to who you are becoming, and from our hearts to yours, thank you for walking in this sacred journey with us.